Hello, time for another Man in Great book review. Today's book is Almost Sunset by Wahab Algarmi, published in 2025 by Harper Alley. It's 224 pages. This is a graphic novel. Hassam is getting in trouble with his math teacher because he keeps falling asleep in class and his math grades are going down. His friends wonder why he keeps begging off going to the lunchroom. He disappears at lunchtime. His soccer coach is wondering why he doesn't seem to have as much energy as he did before. He seems like he's less involved in the soccer match, and he keeps leaving practice early to go home with his parents. Well, it turns out that Hassam is, for the first time in his life, fasting during the month of Ramadan. If you're not familiar with the concept of Ramadan, it's a very holy month in the Islamic calendar, and it's a month in which adult Muslims are expected to fast during the daylight hours. So from sunrise to sunset, you're not supposed to eat anything. So his parents get Hassam up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the morning, and they feed him a big meal, and then he goes back to sleep, and they get him up again, and he goes to school, and then he can't eat again until sunset. And they in the afternoon, there's a service every day during Ramadan at the local mosque, and so they pick him up from soccer practice to go to the service. And so the thing is, Hassam doesn't want anybody at school to know that he's fasting. He doesn't want to stand out from everybody else. He's Muslim, and he's the only Muslim among his group of friends, and he doesn't want to be singled out that way. So he keeps all this a secret. His grades, he gets in trouble with his grades because he's so exhausted from getting up early and then going back to bed and then doing all this other stuff in the afternoon and not eating until night, that he can't concentrate on his math, and so his math scores go down. And so his coach pulls him from the starting team. This coach is also concerned that he's not staying for full practice, so he pulls him off the team. And his mother also insists that he get his grades up before he does any extracurricular stuff. So he starts bearing down on that. He's also being tempted by his cousins, because he meets up with his cousins periodically, and they sneak off to a convenience store and break their fast by eating a bunch of junk food while they're at the convenience store. Hassam wants to stay true to his faith. He wants to do the fast, but he's finding it much more difficult than he thought. The coach, his soccer coach, turns out also to be a Muslim who's also fasting. And when the coach finds out kind of accidentally that Hassam is fasting, he says, "Oh, well, that's the reason you haven't played as well, and it's the reason you're leaving early." And so he puts him back on the roster once he gets his grades back up. It's a really sweet, good-natured story. There aren't any villains. There's no racist person on here or anything like that, or anti-Islam. It's just basically this kid who's struggling with trying to fit in with the American culture that he's a part of, but also wanting to honor his religious faith and his family traditions. And so it's a really sweet, straightforward story. The story is much better, I think, than the illustrations. I'll show you a few examples. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the illustrations, but I think they were probably done on a computer because they look computerish, and they're not particularly, to me, not particularly anything out of the ordinary. They're basically kind of standard graphic novel kind of illustrations here that they don't strike me as being particularly interesting. I was mainly interested in the story. I think the plot, the storyline, the dialogue is what really will hold you on this story. So if you're a kid who's a Muslim, or you know someone who's Muslim, you'll certainly relate to this. And I think a lot of adults would get something out of this book as well. The book is called Almost Sunset. The author and illustrator is Wahab Algarmi. This has been another Man in Great book review. Thanks for watching.